when you know God has given you instructions, stick with it, no matter how hard it may feel, no matter, even if it's going to be something that might not make a lot of sense to you. It's something that when you do, the one thing that I can assure you you'll have peace, you'll have understanding. What's going on, guys? It's been a long time since I've actually done like an actual workout vlog like this, but today I want to just take you guys through a workout and just talk about a topic when it comes to just your obedience to God and, doing the things that God has told you to do. I have gone through some stuff in this area and I really just felt led to make this video. I wanted to make this video for you guys and, get a good workout in and just teach you guys and show you guys through my mistakes and through my troubles and what I've learned from, and hopefully it can be something that you guys can take throughout your walk and, throughout your fitness life and just your journey in life in general. Out here at Temple, when you come here, it's all about, not just being fit physically, but also enhancing your relationship with God and walking in the purpose that He's had for you. And this video is going to tie in a lot of both. So I'm excited to go through this workout with you guys and hope you guys are ready for it.
All right, so of course, when we're beginning with my workouts, I always foam roll. Foam rolling is just a way to help really loosen up some of the tension and tight spots in the muscles that I will be working. So you see me just foam rolling over the back and the lats, especially right now, because these are two areas that we will be hitting heavily. Also hit my side hip, as you see here, because I will be deadlifting. So hitting the side hips and warming the lower back up and foam rolling is the warm up, and then we'll jump into the deadlifts. All right, and the first exercise I'm starting out with this back workout is deadlifts. These first couple sets, we're going to do between 135 and 225. These are what I consider just kind of like my warm-up sets. So these I'm doing, fairly moderate reps between 10 to 12. Then I'm jumping up to 275, as you see here. This I'm doing like a set of like 8 to 10. These are kind of what I would call my 3 warm-up sets as I start out for deadlifts. Then as soon as I get done with this 275, we jump to this 315. So 315 is my first, what I'll say, working set. I'm going to do 3 working sets on these deadlifts. This first one is going to be a working set of 5 reps because I'm going for max strength reps on here. The second one is going to be a set of 2, and then the last one is going to be a max, set of 1 to 2, depending on how I'm feeling today. So now we're getting ready to warm it up. So this is the second working set that I'm going to do. I'm going to take a little break though, because I got something to say after this.
All right, y'all. So first confession of the day, as you guys can kind of see with the way the title was going. One of the big things that I've been going through, especially over the last 2 months, is just being a little disobedient to God and some things that He's told me to do, and some seed planting things that I know I needed to do in order to really see, just a blessing from God, and things I've been praying for, things I've been believing for, just really getting off track in my relationship with God, really trusting in God, and like actually really doing things God way, just trying to, deal with some of the stuff internally that I was dealing with, and in that, really straying off of that path. And it is a hard thing to go through. I can tell you guys, like, if you guys are in that path where you're just struggling to be obedient to God, you're struggling through something that God's told you to do, what He wants you to do, you just can't seem to get over certain things in life that you just continue to go back and forth to. Try your hardest to get out of that place. It is a place where, at least for me, when I experience so much just a lack of peace is what I'll say. And whenever you're doing things outside of God, that's a true thing, a true feeling that you'll have, that you'll know, is you just won't have peace about some of the things that you're doing. And when God has given you instructions, stick with it, no matter how hard it may feel, no matter, even if it's going to be something that might not make a lot of sense to you. It's something that when you do, the one thing that I can assure you you'll have peace, you'll have understanding, and it'll be on that ground where you can really see the miracles and where you can really see God move in your life. So we'll talk a little bit more about some of the things that I've been doing that's been disobedient later, but that's my big topic that I want to encourage you guys with today throughout this video, and we'll explain more of it as we continue to go through this workout.
All right, yeah, so coming up, I'm going to get really more into detail just about, some of the specific things that, I felt God leading me towards, that I felt like I've been slipping in. But for now, we're just going to knock out these last final working sets on this deadlift, and then we'll get right into those specific things as we finish up these last sets.
All right, y'all, so I'm kind of like in this space of life right now where, especially going into like this year of 2024, where I've just really been asking God for just a lot of different things. And for me personally, as I prayed and was just going over stuff, God really gave me a list of specific things. It just came to stuff I want to accomplish financially, stuff I want to even accomplish with this channel, stuff I want to accomplish relationally, and, you know, believing for the right wife and the right, you know, person I can share and do life with, and just a lot of other things. And, you know, God gave me very specific instructions to follow. And while I've been obedient in some areas, there's been other areas where I have, especially over the last 2 months, completely have failed at in some of the things that he's asked me and called me to do. So I can see kind of like the consequences of that. And, you know, when God gives you instructions, they're not like gray area. They're very, very specific things. And while God can certainly still redeem you, and God is never, you know, too far away, no matter what you've done or how disobedient you have been, but there is, you know, a level of, we'll say, not being peaceful that you'll go through, especially. That's one of the biggest things I've seen, when you know that you're supposed to be doing something and you're blatantly not doing it because of just certain other things you're going through. So you're gonna go through stuff, you're gonna go through, you know, just waves where the enemy may be attacking you with weak points, because we all have our weaknesses. There's certain areas, especially for me, where I'm very weak at, and I need God to be able to help me through it. And the more that you can begin to build yourself and grow through that, you'll be less susceptible to the attacks of the enemy that will try to veer you off of God's path. And right now, you know, especially as we're recording this video, this time frame, I'm just really focused on trying to keep myself moving forward, you know, putting those past 2 months behind me and just really get myself back into that place where I'm aligned with God and the instruction that he's given me. And I'm excited to see the progress with that and excited to see where that goes. And I want to encourage you guys that may watch this and may be in that same place, just get yourself back on track. It'll be better for everything, better for you, your life, everything that God wants to do in it. You'll begin to see some of those things begin to happen.
So that's the big thing there, guys. Just staying focused, keeping yourself, you know, in that place where no matter where you're at, you can always get yourself back on track with God. And getting more into the workout now, we're hitting these pull-ups next. Going for weighted pull-ups is more of a strength day for me. So this workout, I'm focusing really on, you know, moderate to really heavy intensities and lower reps on these foundational lifts when it comes to the deadlifts and the pull-ups. So going really heavy strength-based reps and sets on these. So on these pull-ups, I'm doing about 4 to 5 sets on here, weighted, going for about at least 6 to 8 reps is kind of like my target on these pull-ups as I'm doing them, but really going till failure in between that 6 to 8 rep range is the target for these. All right, next we got this T-bar row. So now that I've gone heavy on the pull-ups and the deadlifts, I'm gonna lighten up the intensity a little bit on these next couple lifts and really gonna focus on just more so the hypertrophy and the muscle endurance as I'm working through these next couple sets on this T-bar row first. But I got a story for you guys coming up, so stay tuned. I'm about to get into that now.
All right, so I got a little story for you guys to kind of like put all these things together. So I had a really weird dream last night, actually, and I don't remember a lot of it, but I remember the important parts. And like, in the major part of it, I was hanging off of like a very high cliff. I have zero clue how I got there or why I even thought it was smart to be that high, but I was like just halfway hanging off of it. And I remember being like super, super scared. And, you know, people, I have no clue who the people were. They were just like calling for help for me. And one of the thoughts that I remember having as I was like hanging off the cliff in that dream was like just being super scared and like wondering how long it was gonna take to like having to hang off it, and the anxiety and other stuff that I was feeling as I was hanging off of it. But I remember the help coming a lot quicker than I thought. And of course the people showed up, they got me off of it, and everything when I thought was okay, still was crazy, because like once we got off, we were like running and going through all these places and like trying to escape like all these different threats and danger that can happen. But throughout that whole dream, we still ended up okay and still made it through safety. And I think that's one of the biggest things that God is teaching me through this time where I've been, struggling with just trying to do the things and be obedient to the things I know He's told me to do, is the fear that I felt from being able to actually recover and still be saved, and feeling like having those thoughts of, man, I might have missed my time, or because of my disobedience, like stuff that I'm believing for still won't happen. And I think that's something that we can all take, is that even in that, God is still protecting you, and God is still going to saving you, even through your own mistakes, even through the own situations that you put yourself in. Because I remember clearly, I put myself in that position to be hanging off that cliff like that, which is a horrible, don't know why you would do that. But even when you purposely and knowingly put yourself in danger and in harm's way, God is still watching you, and God will still send the help in the way that you need it. And no matter what's coming to attack you, no matter what's coming to try to defeat you, nothing can touch you when you are in that place with God, and when you know that God has His hand over your life. And I took that heavily from that dream, and I want to share that with you guys, because I know it can be something that anybody can take and continue to help push you forward, which is what I want everybody on my channel to do. Even in your workouts, as we're going and doing things, struggling, trying to get yourself fit, trying to get yourself healthy, this is still a foundational thing that can be a protection for you, can be a therapy for you, and more importantly, you just keep your mind together, because that's where the enemy mainly attacks through all those things, is your mind and your mental health. And as you're grinding and working on honoring your temple, as I encourage all of you guys to do through this channel, is why I named it that way, it all helps keeping that protective barrier around you to keep you able to withstand any attack that comes.
That dream was actually so crazy when I had that. It was something I had to share with you guys. I think it was a big, thing that God was speaking to me through that. So glad I was able to share it through this video. But finishing out with these T-bar rows. So again, we're keeping the intensity very moderate on these. I'm really going for reps, trying to go for about 20 reps was that first little warm-up set, but definitely keeping it between 8 to 12 reps on here, especially trying to keep it right in between that hypertrophy range right there. And I'm finishing out with a drop set now. So on this drop set, I'm going moderately heavy, going for about 4 reps on here. I'm going to drop it now, so I'm going to go down to just a 45-pound plate and a 25-pound plate, and I'm going to hit about 6 reps here. Nothing crazy, but just doing a little drop set, trying to really get that muscle to failure and really burning it out. Doing drop sets like this is a great thing you guys can implement in your workouts. I've been doing drop sets for a while. It's just a great way to really up the intensity of your workouts, so you can really develop muscle a little bit more effectively. And now we're going to this last set on this drop. I'm really going to push for about at least 10 on here, but really the goal is till failure. I think I ended up actually hitting only 10 on here, so that was the final reps there. And after that, we're just going to continue moving through this workout. All right, now we got these low rows, and again, keeping the intensity moderate to light here. I'm going for about 12 to 15 reps on these low rows, really just working on trying to build the hypertrophy and the endurance, and just really doing the mind muscle connection to the specific back muscles that I'm trying to target in this specific workout. So I like doing these low rows wide too. So I know a lot of gyms have the kind of closer mid grip. I kind of like that wide grip where you're right, your hands are finishing right by your side. This activates the lat a little bit better for me, as opposed to closer grips. So I prefer to do my low rows this way, and that's the main reason why. So definitely try, if you have a grip like this in your gym, I would tell you to try it out.
All right, y'all, so I think another thing I want to touch on too is the resistance that comes with obedience to Christ. Because much as you see me going through this workout here, right, you can never grow without resistance, right? When you're pushing a muscle to a certain extent with resistance training, as you're building your body and building your strength, that's where the transformation process happens from a physical standpoint, just as you're working on your body and working on your physique. And the same way in how that equates to training is how obedience builds up your spiritual muscle to be able to follow and enhance your strength in your relationship with God. So the stronger that you can be obedient to Christ fully and fully immerse yourself in the plans and the instructions that God has given you, the stronger your spiritual muscle gets and the more that you can continue to grow and see God do miracles and move things in your life that when you look back, you can only say that God did it. And that's the point in my life where I'm really, really working towards for me, because, you know, we all love God, you know, everybody has a purpose for that, but that's that second level that when you can get there, you know, certain things, and, you know, whether it's addictions, whatever it is that resistance level for you that you have to train yourself out of to be able to walk in that full obedience, the more that you can build that muscle up, you're going to see, much like how you see your muscle transform, you'll see your life and everything else transform on top of that. So that's a nugget I want to give you guys. You know, in the same way that you watch my channel and we train and we're working on building our body and our strength up, the most important thing that obedience does is really build that spiritual muscle up to be able to build your inner spirit man properly, so that you cannot see yourself sway from left to right, but you're always aligned in the things that God has for you.
See, that's the goal right there, guys. Just building our body up both physically and spiritually through that discipline of how we work in here and in our obedience to doing what God does. And that's what we're doing after finishing these low rows out here. You also see how controlled I am on these movements. So a big thing with low rows for me, especially why I like to lighten these up, is really focusing on the control. You see, I'm not swaying too much. I'm getting a nice deep stretch out as I'm going down on that eccentric portion to really get that pull on the lats to activate them. That is a big thing and a big feel that I would love for you guys to try and implement when you are doing your low rows, that you'll really feel the activation in your back a lot better as you do it. So finishing out these low rows, and then we're going to hit the final little finisher of this workout. All right, and to finish out, we just got this little bicep superset. So I'm going on a heavy strength set on this first one with the easy bar curl. I'm hitting the 80. I'm trying to hit between 4 to 6 on there. And then I'm supersetting it with some incline dumbbell hammer curls. And for here, I'm trying to go till failure, but I'm trying to make sure I hit at least 10. So as long as I hit 10, I'm pretty okay with that. But this little superset with a bicep finisher to kind of finish out this pool day, a great one, really helping to build just the strength and the size of the biceps as we're working this out. Great way to finish out our pool day, man. So just gonna hit these sets and we'll call it a day.
All right, y'all, that's the back and bicep session for the day. Hope you guys enjoyed that, man. I was glad I was able to do that vlog for you guys, man. I know it had been a minute, and I hope you guys were able to just take something from that. You know, there's a whole lot that I know that was said, but, you know, if I can encourage you guys with anything at the end of this, it's just, you know, whatever it is that I know you guys are pushing towards and believing God for, you know, asking God for the instructions or the seed things that you need to plant and really sticking to them. That's all I encourage you guys with, no matter how hard it may be, no matter where you're at. Just align yourself with those things that God has told you to do and be obedient to it. Don't make my mistake that I've made over the last 2 months and, you know, being wishy-washy and doing things out of, you know, just dealing with personal things that I was going through that brought me off track. I encourage everybody, if you are in that space, just to realign yourself, continue moving towards, and I'm believing and praying for all of you guys' dreams and plans and goals that God has laid on your heart to do, that you guys achieve them. So hope you guys enjoyed that, man. Again, would love for you guys to subscribe, hit the bell notification. Honor Your Temple is all about helping you guys enhance, you know, just your life through the foundations of your fitness and your well-being and building your relationship with God. I always believe if you have those two things together, that anything that you're called to do, you can do it to the fullest capacity that which God, you know, desires you to be able to carry it out. And this channel is all about just helping you get you on that path towards that and keep you there. So if you guys rock with that and want to become a part of the community, definitely just be sure to subscribe, man. And thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.